What's up, YouTube? Zero here, and today I'm going to be taking on a dragon in the Unmoored World in Dragon's Dogma 2. If you don't know what the Unmoored World is, stick around as I'm going to explain that in a few seconds. But before I get into this boss battle and explaining what the Unmoored World is, if you do enjoy this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more Dragon's Dogma content. I do a bunch of other video games, so feel free to check those out as well. Thank you so much in advance for doing so. It does really help out me and my channel, so I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for doing that. Without further ado, time to get into this boss battle. Let me talk about the Unmoored World first. It is what some people call a secret ending of Dragon's Dogma 2. So if you don't want to be spoiled, I would skip a little bit further in the video. If you're okay with hearing how to get to this point, then feel free to stick around. So the Unmoored World, secret ending of Dragon's Dogma 2. How does it happen? Well, when you're on the back of that final dragon, you have to get to a point, climb on the dragon's back, and you have to stab yourself. There is a point when you can have an option to stab yourself. What I did was I actually defeated the dragon. Then at the end, when they were all cheering and celebrating me, that mysterious spirit type guy was there. So I went up, I talked to him, I followed him a little bit. After a couple of conversations with him, he sends you back to where you're on the dragon, and then you have the option to stab yourself. So that takes you to the Unmoored World, which is this devastated world. All of the water is gone, so you can travel about in these caverns and crevices inside of this world. You're limited in what you can do. A lot of the world is devastated. You also have to, in this world, now you have to save the different towns. Well, to save the different towns, you actually can't rest as often as you normally would in Dragon's Dogma 2. So you're going to find yourself either utilizing a lot of wake stones or relying a lot on some healing potions to make sure that you're not resting in camps or towns, because the more time you pass, the closer those towns that you haven't saved come to devastation. So you're going to try to not rest as much. Well, inside of this Unmoored World, there are going to be beams of light. One of the ones that you saw me click on utilizing the God's Bane at the beginning of the video, and they're going to summon bosses. One of those bosses is in this video. It's one of the dragons. So I'm in the Unmoored World taking on this dragon. Well, one of the first things that happens when you get into this Unmoored World is that you're going to lose your pawn, so you're going to have to go find your pawn. Me, not knowing what these beams of light were, I decided to go check this out first. That was a mistake. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would go get your pawn first, because my pawn is a mage, is a healer. So now I'm stuck with two other pawns who aren't healers, so I'm relying more on healing potions, and I actually equipped the healing spell for the Sorcerer because I don't have my healer with me. Just something of note, I would recommend going to get your pawn first instead of going to check out these beams of light. I didn't know what they were, so I just decided to go towards one instead of going to find my pawn first. Again, mistake. I learned my lesson. I won't do that again when I play Dragon's Dogma 2 again, but unfortunately, it happened. Now, something I found, again, because you're not resting, because you want to save those towns, the only way you pass time is by resting in the Unmoored World, and if you don't save towns, there's this cloud on the outskirts of the map that closes in and can actually devour towns and not allow you to save people. So you're not resting, you're not passing time, your pawns are going to be dying a lot. So you're probably going to make sure you're getting a lot of RC. You're going to be flipping out your pawns a decent amount, because there are a lot of hefty bosses inside of the Unmoored World. There are these dragons. There's the Headless Horseman, which actually, if you beat, you get an achievement for beating him. I'm going to post a video of me beating him. It's not a clean boss battle at all, but I'll just show you the battle and talk about it a little bit. There are a lot of different enemies. There are enemies that are hiding in these caverns that you have to pay attention to, or they're just gonna jump out of nowhere and take away a portion of your health. Not that it's a lot, but every portion of your health that gets taken away is another step closer to you having to use a wake stone. So that's just something to be aware of, is pay attention to these caverns and where enemies could lurk. Try not to stay in too close to an area where an enemy could lunge out from. So we are coming down to the end of this boss battle. I hope I gave you enough background, but if you have any more questions, ask some questions in the comments section. Have you gotten to the Unmoored World? If you have, comment in the comments section. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about what your vocation is. I'm running a Sorcerer, and I have some Sorcerer builds on my channel, so feel free to check those out. Make sure you're giving this video and those videos thumbs up. Do really appreciate it. Does really help me out. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and until next time, peace.